breathe purple and gold? Are you ready to hoist the colors? Now, time for the most in-depth look at the world of ECU athletics. Welcome in to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Now, here's your host, Stephen Igo.
Welcome in, Hoist the Colors on this Tuesday, April 23rd edition of the program. Very excited about today's show. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, X. If you got a comment, a question, drop it there. We'll get to it throughout the next hour. Around 12:30 or a little after, we'll start to turn our attention to ECU, NC State. Huge baseball game tonight inside Clark LeClaire Stadium, top 25 matchup. We'll get into that with Kaysen Romeli. Also get some more college basketball off-season talk in with Kaysen and the latest on Carolina Curveball from their power rankings. But we're going to lead today's show with some ECU football discussion as we've got East Carolina defensive tackle Elijah Morris back in studio. Elijah, how's it going, man?
Hey, how you doing? It's great to be back. Awesome. Loved the last time I was here. Thanks for bringing me back.
Absolutely, man. So we talked to you, it was probably, February or so back then, maybe early March, but it was prior to spring ball. So we'll start kind of with how the spring went, Eli, and we talked about it, your fifth year here at ECU. How would you kind of describe the spring from a team perspective from your vantage point?
It was a lot of moving parts that we had to get everyone moving in the same direction, but it was a whole lot of fun, and I can't wait for the season.
What were some of the things that, I don't know, like being out there for the first practice, I felt like there were some different things y'all did. Definitely I don't know what y'all call the tempo drill as far as when y'all are running at the start of practice, but that maybe seemed like a change. Anything changed for the spring compared to past springs?
Maybe small minor adjustments. You know, we flip sides like sidelines, offense and defense, whenever we would do stuff in team settings. But other than that, you know, like you said with the bag drill, just a couple different things that they wanted to see how it would do this spring. So
the bag drill, y'all are basically sprinting or doing movements over the bags. How challenging is that?
The drill itself isn't challenging.
Yeah.
It's more of the coaching staff firing us up to get us going. But I understand why they do it. They want to get the blood flowing and everybody moving around fast before we get into all the team and movement stuff.
So you mentioned a lot of moving parts across the team, but we'll start in that D-tackle room, which, you know, really maybe not as many moving parts as a lot of places, Elijah. So, you know, I know Jaden McKenzie was brought in. We talked about him as a transfer from Ohio State, but how do you feel like that room continued to progress and gel this spring?
I think it really gelled and progressed a lot. Jaden, he's if not, Jaden has not yet learned all the plays, but he's definitely coming along. And then with all the youth that we've had and that we brought in, they're molding and growing and learning the system as well. So it was like I said, a lot of moving parts, but I think it's gonna be fun. It's so much fun.
So you guys, I mean, y'all are always having fun in that D-tackle room. So, like, how do you know when to flip the switch, Eli, and go from, you know, football business mode to having fun and back and forth at the right times?
Well, I think it's more of like when we're on the field, and then one, it's our coach. Our mindset comes from Coach Tesh, and when he's locked in, we're all locked in as well. So, and then I think we just play the game that way. You know, we play the game violently, but it's fun. Like we enjoy ourselves when we're on the field. So locking in has never been like something hard or that we've had to learn. It's just kind of happened. So
Elijah Morris with us, East Carolina senior defensive tackle. He has played a lot of positions on that defensive front. So how much did you move around, I don't know, this spring, or was it mainly interior? Did you get any snaps at like end in certain spots?
Maybe a couple reps like in formations at end, but it was mostly defense. It was mostly a 3 technique and the defensive tackle. But Coach Tesh had a lot of different things that he wanted to work on this spring and get us more aggressive and attacking everything, and I'm all for it. So.
You, Deontay, and Surad, I mean, y'all are kind of the old heads now in that room, and really on the whole defense. So how much have y'all three grown in particular, like from a leadership standpoint for the whole team?
I think we've grown exponentially. Me personally, for me, I've tried to grow as a vocal leader this spring and trying to bring that vocal piece. Tay has always been the vocal leader. I've been more of example. Sue as well by example. But this spring really challenged us to step up. This is your team, and it also brought some guys who are also showing that they can lead as well. With Zakai in the linebacker room, love the way he led this spring. So we got a lot of young leaders and us as well.
So when you talk about being more of a vocal leader, is it like during workouts, maybe some of those early winter workouts, or when y'all hit the summer workouts? Is it during practice? When do you try to step up the most vocally?
If I see anything like that's not the standard, or like just something I know is wrong that I know we need to fix and get on top of, because I've seen stuff like it before. But just little things like that, because you gotta take care of the little things.
No doubt. And a guy who's younger in terms of class, Elijah, but played a lot last year, C.J. Mims. Do you feel like he's the guy, defensive tackle, who made some growth this offseason?
He definitely did. C.J. Now that he's been here, going on his third year, the game is really starting to slow down for him, and it really slowed down for him this spring. And, he's always been very athletic, very twitchy off the line. So, for him to actually finally see the game slowing down, and now he's playing the game at the pace he wants to, it's going to be a big season for him.
We talked about Jaden, who's a newer guy but older guy, and we were talking off the air earlier, like the defensive end, outside linebacker room. Y'all are in separate rooms technically, but y'all know each other well, obviously, because y'all play beside each other. So any guys at that position that are standing out to you as you guys wrap up spring ball?
JD had a great spring. He stepped up in a big way, especially after Chad had a little injury he had to go through. JD had a great spring. Raheem Craig, oh my goodness, talk about a pass rusher. I mean, he's gonna get after a quarterback, man, for sure. And then like you said with Jaden as well, Jaden came in. They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, wait till you see this season.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good. And I think Joe Sampson and I, who you're obviously a former teammate with on this show, he joins me every Friday. We probably mention the name Sam Danka more than anybody.
Oh, man.
I'm like, this guy is so long. He's obviously explosive, and he's kind of working at that rush with Raheem. And Coach Harrell said they're very different players, but he sees them both playing this year. So what's it like when Sam Danka's lining up beside you or near you?
Well, one, you just look up and there he is. But it's awesome, especially this spring. I'll throw Sam in the mix. What we said as well. Him and Raheem switching in and out. I mean, it's a counter 1-2 punch. But it's awesome having both of them out there. They're both different, but they're both similar. Great communication from Sam. Sam it's slowing down for him as well as he's grown into this new role for him, because he came in as a safety or Sam type player. So for the game to slow down for him at a different position in a different world, that's awesome for him, and I'm excited for him.
You mentioned linebacker and Zakai. You talked about him, Zakai Barker. Had a really good spring, 2 years removed now from his knee injury. And Mike Edwards, like a guy who made a jump this offseason. So I don't know. What's it like kind of seeing those guys evolve behind you, Elijah? Because I'm sure you're hearing them a lot more as they've got to communicate to you guys.
Oh, definitely.
Play to play.
Zakai and Mike, they had a great spring. Just the energy that they've brought, and like I said, the vocal leadership of Zakai stepping up in that room. They've had a great spring, and I can't wait to watch them work. I mean, just watching them, even though they were on the purple team.
Yeah.
I mean, watching them run and hunt all spring. I mean, it was awesome. And then another guy, IBM.
Yeah.
I mean, he found his swagger. I mean, he's talking stuff to the receivers every day. I can't wait for him to let another away team know what's up. So
yeah, I think he had a pick every scrimmage I was out there on Saturday. So he's in a good spot. I'm still mad that he got that pick against Tulsa overturned, but hey, it is what it is. Elijah Morris with us here on this Tuesday edition of Hoist the Colors. So you mentioned, mentioned it, Elijah, that you were on the unfortunate side of the spring game on the gold side. Not that you got to play a whole lot to maybe play a huge factor in the results, but you had to eat the beanie weenies.
I did.
Instead of the steak and shrimp. Did you try to steal anybody's steak and shrimp, make up for it a little bit?
Actually, Coach Houston was sitting at our table, and he set a steak there, and he walked away. I told him, Coach, you got about a minute to come back, or this steak's not going to be here. But he came back and finished it. But other than that, nah, I took my beanie weenies. So
yeah, you lived up to your word. You got to take it. I'm sure y'all get fed pretty well during the season,
yeah, definitely.
so it'll make up for it. Robert on YouTube says, do you feel like this is the best overall line since you have been here? What do you think about that? I guess he's asking about the defensive line from your vantage point.
I think in terms of talent and experience, definitely. You know, we got a lot of people who played a lot of snaps and have played a lot of ball, and we got some guys who are ready to hunt in the ends and rushes room as well.
Speaking of hunting, Coach Harrell, I don't know what he terms it now. He's mentioned he's kind of calls it the predator package when like y'all get a little exotic defensively. Have y'all started to install that, or is that more of like a summer thing?
We haven't installed it yet. We might show a little couple formations of it, but in terms of personnel on the field for the predator package, we haven't installed it yet.
Right.
And I say that because, you know, a lot of times with those packages, you know, they try to take the defensive tackles off the field, pass rush. But, you know, we're trying to stay on the field, so we'll see.
You got to leave at least one defensive tackle
we gotta
out there,
leave.
right?
We got to leave at least one.
Robert, kind of going on that, says how diverse are the fronts you are in? So, yeah, I mean, how much changes or can change based on maybe who you are playing or what y'all need? I'm sure it's not as easy as it looks.
It's not, man. Yeah. We do a whole lot of movements, especially up front on the D line that you wouldn't see at another school. But we do it to protect some things on the back end and allow great fits for our linebackers. So, and we'll put it all on us. We look at it as, if anybody's going to do the hard stuff, we'll do it. So,
yeah, no doubt. It's a lot of fun to watch Coach Harrell's defense. So how much of a difference, we talked about the offense a lot this spring from a media perspective because obviously it was a big storyline. For you guys defensively, how much of a difference did you notice, whether it be tempo, talent? Kind of take us through your vantage point there.
Definitely the tempo. We're going through team, and team is almost like a tempo day for us. And basically what I mean by that is in the past when we would be preparing for an offense of another team, we had tempo periods because they would run tempo. Now with our offense, every team period is tempo. So, it really ramps up the play happened, look over, get the call, get set, execute. So it's really helping us, prepare already for this season because we know that we got a lot of tempo teams in our conference who like the run and gun style, West Coast style offense. But I enjoy it, because I like a challenge, and going up against that offense every day is going to make us better. And when we do play a team who's not in tempo, we're going to be in shape and we're going to be ready for everything.
I guess it could technically mean y'all play more snaps, but I guess my counter argument is like, last year sometimes the offense went 3 and out, so it could have resulted in the same thing, Elijah. So I don't know. Do you have to? This maybe facing that tempo get you ready for that?
It definitely does. It definitely we're going our 6-play racks. Everybody's doing 6. Like we're not coming off the field, and it's 6 straights of back to back to back to back all the way through. So it really gets the heart going, and but you got to play yourself into shape. That's what the coach is always telling us, and that's what we live by. So we practice ourselves into shape as well. So
no doubt. What did you see from the quarterbacks? And Coach Houston has said obviously the competition between Caden Hauser, Jake Garcia will probably go into the preseason. And watching myself, it seemed pretty even. And Raheem Jeter also much improved. So what did you see from the quarterbacks while you were trying to also get to them?
Well, I saw a lot of growth from both of them, all 3 of them. Coming in with the new coach, learning the new style offense and the fast pace and everything. Hey, kudos to them for figuring it all out. I couldn't do all that stuff, but Caden and Jake, obviously in the spring game, had a great spring game, but Raheem has had a great spring as well. I just do want to throw that out there. All three of them can spin it. I mean, it's awesome watching them throw the ball, like especially when it's going tempo and you just see a ball wisp over your head. But, credit to those guys for coming in, learning the style offense, and taking coaching.
Defensively, what's the feeling for you? Because the offense struggled last year to score points. Like in the spring game when they're going up and down the field scoring, and I know that you were on the goal side, so you're probably cheering for some of that. But is part of you like, man, we got to stop them? Or like, man, this is pretty cool to have some offensive plays like this?
Oh yeah, I'm still defense at the end of the day. When they scored on us in 4 plays, I came to sound I'm like, hey,
we got to fix this.
Hey, we got to fix this. Look, our offense is good, but look, we're not giving up 4-play scoring drives. So, but it really keeps us on our toes because we know that the explosive plays that our offense can produce is a lot. So
right, much different, hopefully than last year, and off to a good start. All right, let's get a break in. We'll come back. We'll continue our conversation with Elijah Morris. Again, you got any questions or comments? Drop them on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We'll get to them. Other than that, we'll be right back. Continue our conversation with the Pirates senior defensive tackle.
New Toyotas, 0 down and only $369 a month at Greenville Toyota during the Great Rate Sales Event. Buy with 0% or get Corollas, $369 a month with 0 down. This is not a lease, you own it. Plus, get our Greenville Advantage at Greenville Toyota.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
When a place is as special as this, you don't want to change a thing. You simply want to enjoy it, just as it is. That was our inspiration behind Bow Coast West, our newest community in Beaufort, North Carolina. Embrace all that we love about this very special place and make it easy for families to enjoy all that this coastal lifestyle has to offer. Be inspired. Bow Coast West.
Dum-dum-dum. Get low, get low, get low. 369, ooh, she fine. Hoping she can sing it to me one more time. Get low, get low, get low, get low.
Grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild.
Ready to save thousands with a great rate? Get 0% financing at Greenville Toyota during the Great Rate Sales Event. Shop our massive inventory of new Toyotas, available as low as 0%. Hurry to Greenville Toyota today, where our volume saves you money.
This is ECU head football coach Mike Houston, and you're listening to Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors. Elijah Morris in here on this Tuesday. Always good to talk some Pirate football. And Deontay Johnson will join us Thursday. Siobhan Revel, or Savon, I can't even think.
I'm Vaughn.
Yeah,
now, man.
Vaughn. That's probably the best way to go. He'll be in early May, and then we'll get you guys on again in June. We'll also get Chad Stevens, J.D. Lampley back in here soon as well. on Hoist the Colors, our partnership with Team Boneyard. All right, so I'm also talking to John David Baker, scheduled to tomorrow. I heard that he came in, I don't want to say talking crap, but at least letting y'all know that offense was coming. So did he talk much in the spring, or was it?
He did.
Yeah.
All his really everybody who he brought in with the O-line coach, you know, he's a cool guy, but he also talks when it's time to talk too. They all talk, but I'm all for it.
Right.
You know, I'm all for the competitiveness, and I like the offense to have a little edge like that. So I'm all for it.
And I feel like, I mean, that's kind of how you get better, right? That competitive juice.
You gotta have that
back
swagger
and forth.
to you.
Yep, you gotta have the swag.
Because you come out there flat. I mean, especially with the defense that we got, who's all about juice. Like we're gonna get on you fast.
You said Caden Hauser can talk a little bit. So,
he does, you know.
He lets you hear about it?
He does. We'll be in team, and, you know, we may get after him the first couple plays, like they don't get any yards, and then they'll get in rhythm, and then the deep ball come, and he'll just look over, and he'll just find us. And he's just pointing down there like, yeah, you know what it is. But
what about Jake? Does he talk much at all?
Jake does.
Yeah.
Jake he'll complete a pass, come, pat you on the butt and say, come on, we got to go snap it. And then they'll let me hear it in the locker room, Raheem, too. So
there you go. Good camaraderie there. And that's the main thing is have some fun on the field. You know, don't take it, I guess, too seriously to where it carries into the locker room or whatever. So that's always good. You know, and Coach Houston has talked a lot about culture, and I talked about it with Coach Harrell, too. Like, even no matter who's playing defensively for you guys, you can see, like, how much y'all care for the other person's success. And, like, there's always energy. So, like, do y'all even have to create that at this point, or does it just happen naturally to where you go out there and you guys are having that much fun?
I think it happens naturally. You know, every time before we take the field and we're breaking it down, we're all together. We always tell the defense, hey, go run, hunt, do your job. But at the end of the day, have fun. So, because, I mean, if you ain't having fun, you know, why are you playing the sport at the end of the day? But, you know, the culture that you talked on, you know, I'm glad that it shows, and I'm glad that's how we've set the standard of culture around here, and I hope that it stays that way for years to come.
No doubt. You can see it no matter the setting, you know, especially you guys defensively, even last year during the ups and downs, Elijah. So it shows for sure what you guys have built over time. All right, so when you're going up against this offensive line, I know they moved Dustin Hall back to center for the spring. Hampton Ergel was playing like a different position every week almost. Yeah. Any of those guys you enjoyed going up against this spring that made you better?
Dustin's always a chess match, you know, just because of the knowledge that he knows. And, like, he's that centerpiece on the O-line. Like, everything goes through him. So it's always a chess game when we're running any line games versus them. He's always the one checking the calls and all that stuff. But Parker as well, you know, it's a lot of fun going against Parker. He keeps me on my competitive edge, you know, especially when I have to go out there and some. And but, you know, I like the new guys that Coach Houston has brought in. Obviously, with what you said, Ergel, Hampton moving around a lot, you know, Swiss Army knife on that O-line. We're still trying to get all the pieces together, and they're still trying to mesh. But I'm excited for what we got going on.
No doubt. Coach Maddox doing a great job with that unit. And Coach Tesh, for you guys, I can't remember if we talked about this before, Elijah, but every time it's a new practice season, like from preseason camp last year, I thought Roy Tesh was skinny. This spring, I thought, like, is he just not eating, man? Do y'all get him on him about that?
He's on a diet or whatever he wants to call it. It works for him, though. I'm proud of him because, you know, he sticks to it. I see him running every day. When I'm on the way to class, I see him, Coach Harrell, and Coach Thompson. They're all running. So that's a credit to him. And then also he loses weight chasing us around to tell us to run to the ball. So
he's always he's not lacking energy, whatever he's doing.
No, never.
All right, Elijah Morris with us a few more minutes with Eli on this Tuesday. So when you have some free time, which is, you know, not a lot as a Division I football player, but maybe this time of year at least you're not at the facility 24/7. What do you like to do? What do you like to do to pass the time or have fun?
I love listening to music. That's one. And then I've been on the game lately, PlayStation. I've been playing Call of Duty with a lot of different people. You know, yesterday I think I was on the game almost all day.
I feel like I
got
saw
my
one of
work
y'all's
done.
Instagram stories about.
Yeah,
doing the
it was
game.
me, Tay, and Sue. We played. We got a win on Call of Duty with
Okay.
Keaton, so it's always fun. And really, for me, getting on the game, trying to, I get online that way. Keaton obviously not here in Greenville, but it's another way to stay in touch with everybody who's moved on. So that's why I enjoy being online. But
Do y'all have the like the headsets to where y'all talking and everything? So how do y'all talk more on the football field or on Call of Duty as far as talking junk?
oh man, it might be even split.
Yeah,
it might be even split because we get active on that.
I bet so. What about, do you play I don't know, Fortnite or any of the other games, or is it mainly just Call of Duty for you?
I don't play Fortnite. I do play some Madden. I know that they play 2K and stuff, but I'm more of a Madden, Call of Duty. I bought a UFC the other day. That ain't bad, but I'm not ready to play anybody on there yet or anything. But
gotta get some practice.
That's a fun game too. But otherwise, besides the game or listening to music, we'll find other activities. Like we'll go to the baseball game and stuff,
right,
and support them and everything. So
you gonna try to make it out there tonight versus NC State?
Definitely am. You know, I just saw the other day. We're ranked what, 7th?
7th. Yep, Messiah's 7th.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to ECU baseball.
Yeah, doing big things. So I know Big Tay has called a home run in the past. We've had Cam Claunch on the show. He actually predicted it live on video. Are you going to try and predict any home runs tonight?
I'm not going to predict any, but look, I am going to be over by that cannon. And look, when we get a run, I'm pressing that.
Okay.
Yeah, that was fun. I got to do that. I got that, so
you get to
need to put one of them on the sideline.
Yeah, that's what it is. We talked about that before too. Like y'all need like a celebration when y'all create a turnover. You're always recovering fumbles, so like you need something to do that.
We've been spitballing some ideas about that. So
well, maybe we can get something done. I don't know. Do you know? Maybe better talk about with Tay, like the sack deal that y'all are doing this fall.
Okay, so basically, every sack that we get is I think it's $20 or $25 donation to any charity. And what we're trying to really do is get some different sponsors to match us. Obviously, JD's dad on Twitter the other day. Shout out to him for saying that he'll match whatever we do. But we're still trying to get some people involved with us. And we don't have any specific charities yet, but if y'all want to send us any, we're always open to anything going on. So.
Okay, so I'll tell people to be on the lookout for that, and I assume that is on one of y'all's Twitter pages, like the info.
Tay's got it on his Twitter page, but feel free to hit him up, me up, or any of the D linemen.
Yeah, so. Great cause for sure.
Definitely.
And hoping y'all get a ton of sacks.
That's the big goal. So we really want to get a whole lot of sacks. That way we're donating a lot of money. So.
No doubt. Robert Matthews says his son wants to play you sometime in Call of Duty, so hit him up.
Okay.
So we'll have to make that connection, Robert. But so that'll be fun. What about you individually, Elijah, as you head into, obviously exam week, but then the summer, individual goals for you, whether it's like improving as a player now or academically, what's kind of your big focus this time of year?
Just right now, finishing this semester strong, getting all the good grades I want, and then after I transition from focusing on these last weeks of school, I'm getting ready for this season. It's the final one, and I'm just getting my body, my mind, everything ready for this season because I know what's on the line and what's on the table. And I'm coming for all the keeps. So.
Yeah, and we talked about it before too, Elijah, that nobody felt good about last year. You were motivated to not end on that note. After spring, do you feel like y'all are trending in the right direction and maybe on to something here as a team?
I definitely do think we're trending in the right direction. And I think that, everybody's keen for a good year this year. So. I'm really happy with what we've done this offseason and what we still have coming in. And like I said, can't wait.
He's Elijah Morris. Elijah, appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely, man. Go. Good luck on your exams. Hope you get some more Call of Duty time, man, and continue to stay healthy, man. But we appreciate it, and we'll get you back on sometime this summer before preseason camp.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely. That's Elijah Morris here, ECU senior defensive lineman. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll be joined by Kaysen Rameli. We'll break down the matchup between ECU and NC State tonight inside Clark LeClaire Stadium and more. This is Hoist the Colors.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Fifth Street Hardware is the home of the $9 lunch special Tuesday through Fridays. $9 specials every day, including the famous Burger Day on Tuesdays, Flatbread Pizza Wednesday, the famous Fifth Street Hardware Reuben on Thursday, and fried fish or shrimp on Friday. Plus trivia on Wednesday nights and live music every Thursday nights. And the Prime Rib Brunch Buffet has returned on Sundays. You heard that right. The Brunch Buffet with all the great items, including prime rib. Fifth Street Hardware in downtown Greenville.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in color. And let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
Everything you need to know in the world of ECU athletics. This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome in to Hoist the Colors on this Tuesday, April 23rd edition. Bless you, Philip. Philip didn't sneeze behind the glass. Kaysen Rameli in studio, he said he sneezed 6 times this morning after waking up, so I guess it's that time of year. Kaysen Rameli in studio. How's it feel?
Feels good. Feels good to be here. What a great day.
So you're about to head out to, are you going straight from here to tailgating?
No, I have to pick up someone and then a table, so basically, yes.
So there'll just be a pit stop on the way?
Yes, we're trying to be there by 1:30.
We just had Elijah Morris on the show. Maybe he'll stop by. He'll be at the game tonight, ECU defensive tackle. ECU, NC State going head-to-head for the second time this month. ECU got him in Raleigh earlier this month. How do you feel about this game tonight?
I feel good. I think ECU definitely wins this game for me, for sure. Just the environment is just going to be – I think this will be the rowdiest it's been all year, maybe closest rival was that Sunday game versus UNC. But I think tonight's going to be a good game. I know that State's pitching is slim. It's been slim all year because of the injuries they've been dealing with. So their midweek pitching has not been good the past couple weeks just because of the injuries and just a whole bunch of stuff going on. So I honestly don't know who's pitching for them. Do you know?
I don't know. I was told that they sent over like 2 names to ECU and were deciding between them both. So I don't know who they're starting.
When I talked to Scooter early this morning, he had nothing on or off the record yet. So.
Yeah.
It's just so weird what Avent does, because I remember last year versus ECU, he started Sam Heifel. And now he's their Friday guy. But
he was coming back from injury, right? Or had been coming back?
Yeah, in and out. But me and my boy were talking about this morning, like, who in the world do they pitch? And who I was talking to is good friends with Matt Willitson, who's out for the year for them. And he honestly said, I have no idea who they're going to throw out there today.
I think the guy ECU could end up seeing pitch for a while, because they host Ball State this weekend, is Van Dam out of the bullpen.
He has been outstanding. He shut down Clemson in their first game 2 weeks ago. He pitched well versus UNC this weekend. So I think if we see him, that'll be a tough task.
And he's really, their bullpen in general, they have like almost 7 ERA as a staff. So, they are more hitting based. They could throw Highfield, whoever, and I'm not too worried about it. Like, I think ECU's going to score some runs. Van Dam is a good reliever, but he's not unhittable. And ECU, I expect to give up some runs, so I'm expecting a lot of runs.
Yeah, it's going to be a high-scoring game, I think, for sure. And look, I'm saying it again, I think this game is going to be very similar to that Chapel Hill game where it's just back and forth, high-scoring. What was the game, like 10-9?
Something like that.
So it's going to be a high score. NC State's lineup, it changes every single game. 1 weekend, Brandon Butterworth, Western Carolina transfers, batting leadoff, then he's batting 7th the next day. So there's really 2 stable pieces that stay. A guy named Amac bats cleanup, and then Jacob Cozart, the catcher. He was a preseason All-American. He's pretty good, and he'll bat 5th or 3rd. So those 2, you just gotta don't let them get on base.
They've got a lot of lefties, and I know Amac, at least with ECU, is better hitting left-handed than right-handed. So you turn them around, theoretically, should be the better matchup. So that's why I think Aaron Groller pitched so well the first time. I think we'll see Eric Ritchie tonight. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw him early. I don't know if they've announced anything yet, but I would expect to see some lefties for ECU. They're going to have to, pitch well, and you're going to have to throw strikes, Kaysen, because you can't give these guys free pass. The other thing, too, is they have some free swingers. So if you miss in the middle of the zone, you're going to get hurt. But if you make quality pitches, you can get strikeouts.
Oh, yeah, they swing at everything. They swing if the ball's in the dirt. They swing if the ball's at their chest. They're going to swing at it, and that's just how they are. And honestly, that's how Avent teams have been his whole time there. They just swing, and they score runs. And NC State's going to try to outscore you, not try to keep you down.
So Alec Makarevich is hitting .349 with 15 home runs, a team high 50 RBI, and 15 doubles. He's slugging .743, so he is doing a lot of damage. His fielding percentage is down to .910, which I am a little surprised it's that low. He's got 9 errors on the season, which is a team high.
They have a bunch of errors.
They have 43 errors as a team. They're fielding .967, which is less than their opponent's .975. Again, they hit .279 as a team. ERA on the mound as a team, 6.71. And Shane Van Dam, their ERA leader, with .290, 12 appearances all out of the bullpen. So we'll see. Let's go around the horn. We'll start with Kaysen. What type of reception are you expecting for Makarevich this weekend?
I'm curious to see. I'm very curious to see, actually, because on the board it's not well received, but I'm curious to see what the fans inside Clark Clear. I honestly don't know. What do you think? I'm very curious.
I think there will be some cheers. I think it will be overwhelming boos, and the boos will drown out the cheers. But I would say, and I said this on my podcast Sunday night, let's at least keep it classy.
I agree.
Don't be like, there's going to be some inebriated people out in the jungle. Don't be throwing stuff at any player or anybody in the stands. I don't think anybody has the arm to go from the jungle to third base, but let's not do anything silly.
If they do, text me Cliff's phone number so I can give him that person's phone number.
That is true. Philip, what do you think about Amac's reception tonight?
I think it's going to be somewhere between 2/3 and 80% boos. Probably about 20% lack thereof. I don't think there's going to be any true cheers, but I think there'll be some Pirate fans who just kind of give them a golf clap. And but I think most of it's going to be boos. I will say I talked to Scooter today, and we're having him on Patrick's show. I'm hosting Patrick's show later. And Scooter's got a little bit of a hot take. So tune into that to hear what Scooter's hot take is as to how much booze to cheers AMAC will get. I ain't going to give it away, but it surprised me. But I think it's definitely going to be more booze.
Interested to hear that. That'll be 5 o'clock on the Patrick Johnson show. You can hear Phillip and Scooter. AMAC. Well, here's the real question, Casey. You're going to be in the crowd. You got your guys, your best friend's birthday. So are you going to be booing or cheering or not reacting?
I will be sitting there enjoying the matchup. I'm not gonna boo. I have no problem with the kid at all.
I mean, he did play 4 years at ECU and started every game for the past 2 years at ECU. It's tricky, man. When you go, transferring is one thing. Transferring to NC State, it is what it is. But we'll see tonight. And if you're AMAC, look, he is a aggressive hitter, and the numbers show it pays off for him. He was not this, he tried to be aggressive. As aggressive as this at times at ECU, I think was held back a little bit from that aggressiveness, and now he's doing it at State and putting up huge numbers. So I think you would think he'd be a little anxious tonight given the circumstances, and it'll be interesting to see how ECU tries to attack him because he's a big piece of their lineup. So, yeah, ECU, NC State tonight. How about Joey Barini, Kaysen, homering twice on Saturday? He tripled his home run total. He went from 1 to 3 on Saturday on the season. So, big game, Joey.
I told you he was going to home run. I told you that.
You did. You called it. You didn't say 2, though.
Yeah, he was it the second one where he was nuked? Was the second one?
The second one.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the first one was nuked, too, because it hit halfway up the score. But the second one, he watched it.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. The second one was like, holy cow, like unbelievable. I'm so happy for Joey. He deserves it. And look, if he keeps doing that, this team's going to continue to play at its pace. And without Starling in there, he's kind of stepped up these past 2 weeks, which I think is huge for this team.
It'll be interesting to see if Jacob Starling comes back tonight. Cliff Godwin kind of alluded to the fact he could be very close. I've heard he may play tonight. I don't know if he'll start, but they also don't want to push it too hard. So you're 10-2 without him. Last thing you want to do is risk a reset or a setback, I should say, on the injury. Let's go around the horn again here. Pick to click tonight. I'll go first. I'll give you some time to think. I went Dixon Williams on my podcast with Homer against NC State. I'm going to stick with that prediction. Dixon Williams, my pick to click tonight. He played well versus State last time. I think he does it again. Kaysen?
Go to Phillip first.
Phillip?
I'm still thinking.
I'm going to go JC. He
homered 3 times against him last year, right?
That's a good one, yes.
Yeah, he did. He didn't have a bad weekend, but, I don't think it was lately we haven't seen explosion game from JC like what we were used to. Like I said, he's not been bad. He just hasn't had that game where you're like, man, remember that game that JC had? And I think he's due tonight.
Kaysen, are you ready?
Yes, I am. I'm going to go Justin Wilcoxon to hit a home run tonight. I think he's going to have a good game. He had a good day on Saturday, so I hope he continues to have that rolling.
Had his second multi-home run game of the season in the first game of Saturday's doubleheader. And you covered that game with me, Kaysen. What were you thinking when ECU got down 7-0 to Wichita State? Did you think they could come back?
Well, my first thought was, should I bet him right now? But then I didn't. Then I didn't do it. But I was a little worried. But then when Riley Johnson had a leadoff or 2-out walk, I think, and then he scored, and then they just slowly chipped away. And once the home run happened, would make it 7-4. I was like, oh, they got this. And guess what? They just ran away with it.
So for those unfamiliar, Kaysen and his friends are running Carolina Curveball. You can follow them on Twitter at Carolina Curve BB, Carolina Curveball verified account, and doing great things on X, Twitter, whatever it's called. And they released their Pitcher of the Week. And for the second straight week, I want to commend you guys. Third straight week? Third straight week. Trey Savage has been named the Pitcher of the Week. That is correct. Third straight week. So the American gave it to some dude who threw a complete game shutout, which I'm completely fine with. I'm not going to argue that, but he only struck out like 5. So the guy probably deserves it, but the guy who looked like the best pitcher in America, or at least in the Carolinas, was Trey Savage once again.
Yes, and also those 3 earned runs were some strange runs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I remember when it happened, I was like, oh, come on, like, are we really doing this right now?
If you look at the line versus if you watch the game.
Yes.
If you watch the game, you're like, Trey Savage is the pitcher of the week.
Yes. Yes.
So,
he is just, I mean, look, it was funny because me and my friends the other week were asking, who is the best ECU athlete in my 5 years at ECU? And I said it was between Trey or Keaton Mitchell. The best pure athlete, the best.
Yeah.
And I was like, and Trey is just, I mean, you can make the case he's the best pitcher in the country.
There's nobody that wants to see him in a regional. I can guarantee you that, or a super regional. So congrats to Trey Savage. Y'all getting a lot of interactions on this tweet. 3,000 views, 66 likes and retweets. Y'all are making it big time, man.
Trying to, man.
The power rankings are also here. Clemson stays at number 1 again. This is all of the Carolinas. East Carolina at number 2, Duke at number 3, Wake 4, North Carolina 5, State 6, South Carolina 7, Coastal 8. That is a beast of a top 8. And again, you keep going: Charleston, UNCW, USC, Upstate, Campbell. It's just great baseball in the Carolinas. Anything? I know y'all had some heated discussion over the rankings, right?
Yes, because if you look at 4, 5, 6, listen to this. Carolina swept Wake 3 weeks ago. But Wake went to Virginia Tech, beat Virginia Tech. Wake had Florida State at home this past week, beat Florida State. NC State just beat UNC. And NC State just beat Clemson the week before. So it's very tough to put those.
It's hard to rank
It's so tough. I mean, where would you put them?
Well, you got head-to-head, which like you would think would be the overwhelming factor. But then if you look at the overall resume for each team, I feel like it's probably about right, because North Carolina has the best record at 30-10, but they've now lost 4 series. They've lost to ECU, NC State, Virginia, and Miami.
Yes.
And Miami is not even an at-large team at the season ended today. So UNC has swept a lot of series, which has improved their overall record. They're dominant at home. They struggled on the road.
The one good series they won, they swept Wake Forest, but that was when Wake Forest was, I'm not making excuses, but that was when Wake Forest was, I mean, in a funk. I mean, I don't know what in the world was going on with them for like 2 weeks. They were not playing well. But then again, when Carolina plays someone good, they struggle, and it's written, and they can't play anywhere outside Boschmer. So
their pitching has been hit hard with injuries, and it's starting to show. But still, a very potent lineup. Clemson, I think Clemson should be number 1. ECU 2, Duke 3. Like those, I think right now those 3 teams have separated themselves. And again, a lot of baseball left, but I think y'all have the top 3 the right way. Has there been any debate moving ECU to 1?
Yes, there was. So there's 6 of us. 3 of us had ECU at 1. 3 had Clemson at 1. So we did an overall record as a tiebreaker. As well talked about it. But I said that if ECU Clemson played a series like they did versus UNC, ECU would lose, and Clemson. I think at a neutral site game, ECU would win, and I think here ECU would win.
Maybe we'll see it.
And also Clemson's dealing with some injuries.
Yeah.
Their right fielder, Will Taylor, who also played football for the Tigers, he's an absolute stud. He broke his wrist, so he is out for the year for Clemson. So that is a major piece of their lineup that is out.
All right, so let's get a break in before we run out of time. We'll do that. We'll come back. We'll talk last-minute stuff on baseball, and then we'll hit on a basketball portal question from Christian Bateman. We'll be right back. This is Hoist the Colors.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport. Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
Interbanks Media and 1079 WNCT presents Concert on the Common.
1, 2, 3, say, I love beach music.
It's back April 25th with the Embers.
Hallelujah. Girls hit you hallelujah. 'Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you.
Don't miss Concert on the Common with the Embers.
Concert on the Common, thanks to Interbanks Media, the City of Greenville, and the Junior League of Greenville.
We'll see you at the show.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master. Let's go! Woo! Woo! Yeah! Football time!
Set the tone. Kyle, tie your shoes, tie your shoes. Yeah, good job.
Woo! Yeah!
Grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild. When a place is as special as this, you don't want to change a thing. You simply want to enjoy it, just as it is. That was our inspiration behind Bow Coast West, our newest community in Beaufort, North Carolina. Embrace all that we love about this very special place and make it easy for families to enjoy all that this coastal lifestyle has to offer. Be inspired. Bow Coast West.
Air service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
What's happening?
Tell me what's happening. Every ECU fan's one stop for all things ECU athletics. This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors. A few minutes left here. We talked to Elijah Morris earlier. Good stuff there. We'll have John David Baker over the phone tomorrow. Also, Deontay Johnson to keep some football talk going Thursday. All right, Casey Romeli is in studio. Christian Bateman wants to know an update on the basketball transfer portal. I assume he's asking about ECU. Casey, what do you got? What breaking news can you share?
I do not have any breaking news. I've been asking around some people. There's nothing on my front, just like you said, that they're keeping things very close to the chest. But I will say, though, this is around the time where you really need to start reeling in some fish. If you look around the country, some big names are plopping off the board as well as some small ones. So I definitely think that sooner or later we need to start hearing some names.
I said that if they don't start getting some commitments in the next week or so, I'm a little concerned. Still got 5 spots to fill, and they don't want to reach for guys necessarily that they feel like they'd have to get more from the collective for than they theoretically should get. So you have that dilemma. They did visit Devin Barnes, it looks like, from Tarleton State over the weekend. He averaged around 16 a game last year. Looks like a point guard. He visited UTEP this weekend, so we'll see if he is scheduled to visit ECU. He'd be a quality pickup, so we'll have to see there. But they still need scoring. They need some size. Got room to add, and we'll see what happens. But you know they got Julian Samaro, a quality pickup from Gardner Webb. I don't think he's your headline pickup, but it's a good start. But I think you're kind of reaching the point now where some movement needs to happen.
Yeah, you got to get your point guard before he gets gobbled up somewhere else. I think that's the number one priority right now, to get yourself a point guard that can average 15, 16 a game.
Any big moves in the portal like across the country that have really taken you by surprise or anything like that as you followed it?
Some of the guys that Dusty May's getting is kind of shocking me. He got a kid from Alabama, sniper. I was like, well, I don't know why the kid transferred. Kids from Alabama are transferring there. It's dropping out like flies. I don't understand why. Some other big ones. Indiana somehow got the greatest transfer class since the portal happened. I don't know where in the world that money's coming from. I'm trying to think of some other ones. I mean, it's just like some of the rumored numbers that are coming out with these players. It's like, are you serious right now?
Ezra Sarr, I saw Arkansas reach out to him this morning. John Calipari. So we'll see if there's any movement there. And, again, there's a difference between reaching out and having a full-on offer. So we'll see what happens. Got about a minute left with you, Casey. ECU, NC State tonight. Coverage will begin 94 through the game, 5:45 with Scott Rogers and Coach O. How important is this game for ECU, or is it not that important given the fact they've already beat State on the road?
Oh, it's very important. This is the best RPI opportunity you'll get to, Duke, maybe? So these RPI points are very important because, the RPI net, it just drives me nuts, but it just confuses me how, it's just weird how they can win these games versus the American. You get 0 RPI points, but that's a whole nother conversation. But it is a big one for RPI points as well as bragging rights.
Threw a no-hitter last week or 2 weeks ago and lost points for throwing a no-hitter.
Yeah, correct.
Even today, ECU gets plus 14 for winning, minus 68 for losing in the top 25 matchup. So it is what it is. The RPI needs to be reworked. We'll talk about that more this offseason. All right, he is Casey Ramaley, and that is it for Hoist the Colors. We'll get out of here tomorrow. We've got John David Baker, and we also have Bobby Harward. We're going to do a mock draft for the first 10 picks, and we'll see who can get one the closest to the nail. All right, we'll see you then. Appreciate Elijah Morris, Casey, and Phillip. We'll see you tomorrow.
This has been Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo. Tune in weekdays at noon for all things ECU sports. Get a recap of the show at 943thegame.com, on Twitter, Facebook, or anywhere you get your podcasts. We're back tomorrow with more of Hoist